it try, so I...
Every time. Hey guys, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. So, I think you know what this means, right? Live stream reaction, which means it's time for another Caddy video. Honestly, I can't wait for the day for the next time we have to do a Light Thero video. Or is that not a thing anymore? I don't know. I haven't heard from the guy in a while. I mean, he might be busy with the artists and stuff, but we're here, we're checking it out. So, anyway, AC, glad to see you here as always. Anyway, so today's video is called The Incredible World of Playing the Best Game of All Time. And, just heads up, I did take a peek. This is on the Nintendo Switch 2 tech demo, which I don't have. Just give me a heads up. So I haven't played it yet, or I don't think I'm gonna play it, so... what are you gonna do? Anywho, how about we hop in and check this out? So, you know the drill. Like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. It's going well. Anyway, let's get this Caddy video going. Sorry, just one last check. Okay, yeah, good, okay. Sorry, I had to double check things. That's a one. Okay, the fact he's making a documentary style video. Hell.
The frame rate is a unit of measurement in film and video displays that counts the number of images produced by a device every second in order to determine how smoothly the video is playing, often abbreviated to FPS, or frames per second. I know this is quite a confusing concept. However, you can easily see how effective this measuring unit is all by yourself at home. If you own a smart mobile phone with a built-in high-quality video camera, you can manually change the settings of the frame rate for video recordings, and then film yourself having an aneurysm in POV, or point of view, in order to see for yourself the obvious effects that frame rates have every time you hit the record button with a different frame rate setting. It doesn't just apply to films though. Nowadays, the frame rate is commonplace everywhere, whether you're watching Disney's Mufasa in IMAX at 24 frames per second, or playing Smurfs Kart on your PlayStation 5 at 120 frames per second. It's safe to say that frame rates are everywhere.
Mufasa at 24? I gotta look that up later.
Who made them? And where did they come from? The first usage of the phrase frame rate recorded by humans was in the seminal book Von der Natur der Dinge, written by Johann Jacob Wagner, where you can clearly see the words printed right there. However, the first time the phrase was used to describe the images per second phenomenon was in 1836, where 0.0000001% of all books written that year had mentioned it. The problem is, though, nobody in those days could really quantify a metric like that, since in a reel of film recorded from our reality, frames per second are a set constant based on each second that passes in real time. So even though the idea of moving pictures was already well underway with cartoon flipbooks and brown horses, examples such as these cannot have a frame rate. Not even the summer blockbuster Man Walking Around a Corner. They weren't recorded onto a device capturing moment by moment. They are individual photographs stitched together, making the speed of the motion and smoothness of the animation, or frame rate, completely up to the viewer.
Or in this case, just how fast you click that camera.
When it comes to actual captured frames per second, that's another story, and one that involves video cameras. So in order to find out more about where the frame rate originated, I took a visit to London's go-to premier film and photography camera museum, literally named the Camera Museum, where you can also get a lovely coffee at their cafe and is not too difficult to find, tucked nicely away from the hustle and bustle of London's city centre down Museum Street, and right next to the British Museum of Stolen Egyptian Hair. The owner and curator
much.
of the museum very kindly let me and my crew head down to the cellar to take a look around and get a more intimate experience with the hundreds of historic cameras that they had on display. However, while perusing what they had and learning a thing or two along the way, I was keeping my eyes peeled for the main reason I wanted to visit this unassuming coffee shop in the first place. Because for as immaculate as this collection is, I needed to find the device that was responsible for pushing the frame rate into the mainstream as we all know and love it. Human beings had been taking still images with photography ever since 1826 with the camera obscura, and with the commercially available public cameras since 1839 with daguerreotype cameras. But no matter how many pictures you take of different movements and stitch them together, that is all you're doing, creating the illusion of video and not a video in and of itself. It wasn't until the near end of the century when a French man named, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, Louis, would go on to invent what most would consider to be the world's first video camera in 1888, and then film the oldest surviving and arguably first ever instance of motion recorded on film, Roundhay Garden Scene, filmed at a stately home in Leeds. This is not that camera. Unlike the other posers hogging all the public glory like man walking around a corner, Roundhay Garden Scene was captured within 2 seconds and was designed to be viewed within those 2 seconds via a roll dispenser in a public toilet. Historians today tend to agree that the film was shot in 7 frames per second, despite one of the actors in the film and the son of the man who filmed it saying it was 12 frames per second, but I agree with the historians because what the hell would this know? He wasn't even there. Thus, in 1888, what the world would come to know as the frame rate was born, and Louis Le Prince would be forever lauded as the man who filmed the first ever frame rate. I even took a trip to Bradford, UK, to visit the National Science and Media Museum in order to see one of the only surviving negative copies of the film reel for Roundhay Garden Scene, the ultimate artifact of frame rate history.
Somebody doesn't break it, because knowing his
it
track
wasn't
record.
in there, so I went to the beach instead.
Okay. What? Okay, what is he saying? What's your address? What?
Little did the world know, however, that when this primitive TikTok video dropped in 1888, a little country known as Japan was keeping a close eye on the French and their trousers, and unbeknownst to everyone, was secretly making notes about this new frame rate technology, waiting for their chance to strike.
Oh, kid, I could barely make it out.
But not any harbours. For 1 year later, in 1889, Japan would form a brand new entertainment and leisure company known as Nintendo, and then take all of their copied notes about Louis Le Prince's frame rates and seal them away in a secret underground vault for whenever they could use them for their own projects in the future. But I'm sure you can see the issue that would arise from this. What would happen to Nintendo if Louis ever found out about the theft of his life's work? And the answer is that a few months later, Nintendo made him disappear in 1890.
I doubt that's actually what
happened,
story, but...
no doubt. But it does have a silver lining.
That old. Huh.
Because after stealing all of Louis' notes on frame rates and hiding them away,
wasn't that from Edison?
135 years later, Nintendo finally had the technology to create the world's first frame rate video game all about frame rates. And you know what? The wait was worth it, because I cannot believe how polished of an experience this is. In fact, I would go as far as to say this was also worth the inventor of film disappearing under suspiciously timed circumstances, because that bitch couldn't ever do this. He didn't have the imagination for his frame rates to be used as anything other than this, and this is where he peaked. This was the best he could do, and he packed it up there. No ambition, no talent. You look me in the eye and tell me that his film of a man trying not to step in poo is better than mine. I've got like 60 frames per second, he only has 7. Scrub didn't even film it in colour. Nah, I can't be too harsh to France. I mean, in all
1888.
fairness, in 1888, they'd only just learned how to walk. In this game, you are given some examples of objects moving across the screen at multiple variations of speeds and frame rates, and you need to use your intuition to guess what the frame rate is. For instance, is the video actually really nice and smooth for Nintendo's brand new $500 console, or is it Nintendo's Tears of the Kingdom from 2 years ago? And this isn't like your silly walking men videos of yesteryear going off at 7 frames per second. This is the 21st century, and there's like a million of them now. What are you supposed to do with so many frames? Well, luckily for you, after all of these years, Nintendo were the first company to finally design the perfect system to handle a million frames in a video game all about frames, the Nintendo Switch 2, which much to my displeasure is not 2 regular Nintendo Switches glued together. As a console
not really.
itself, the Switch 2 is arguably the most controversial one that Nintendo has ever put out, due to the timing, the price, and the consumer-unfriendly game practices. But today, what you do in Nintendo's flagship launch title, Guess the Frame Rate, is look at the frame rate and guess it. Some games can be simple to a fault, but not guess the frame rate. Guess the frame rate wears its simplicity like a badge of honor, and even though it sounds easy, I promise you it isn't. In my entire playthrough, I made at least one mistake, and all of you at home won't be able to see the subtle differences between many of the answers that you have to pick between because of this video I made all by myself, only streaming to your device at a maximum of 60 frames per second. That's half of 120, which is what happens when you divide 120 by 2. 1 second you'll be looking at a slightly choppy video of a bouncing basketball that it asks you to guess between 30 frames per second and 120 frames per second, and you'll be sat back all smug in your smug chair saying to yourself, I'm smug. But as soon as you let your guard down, you're thrown into the deep end, picking between the near indistinguishable frame rates of 60 and 120 while watching a very slow melon. After you get 5 correct, you collect all 2 challenge medals for the game. However, for those who dare to go one step further, you'll be rewarded with a hidden 3rd medal by guessing 1 more correct. What a celebration of frame rates. From start to end, it's a respectful salute to one of those things in life we all take for granted, frame rates, and allows you to appreciate and engage with them at a level never before seen, and probably won't ever be seen to this level ever again.
Depending on the era, I guess.
That's what I would be saying if Nintendo didn't hide one more trick up their sleeves.
I remember when I saw my very first ever frame rate. I want to say I was 6 years old,
dude.
and I thought to myself at the time, this is nice, but I really wish we can see more than 1, you know? And then we started to get 24 frames, and then 30, and then 60, and now we're at 120, and not just once, but every single second? You can only imagine how I felt when that happened.
I mean, I love frame rates, that goes without saying. I don't think I know a single person who doesn't love or at least like them. But even after seeing how many frames these companies can fit into a video every second, I feel like I'm the only person asking the obvious question. When can we put these frame rates into video games?
There's a quiz game that challenges you to identify frame rates.
The Switch 2 coming right out of the gate with Guess the Frame Rate was groundbreaking, no doubt about it. Nobody saw it coming, it exceeded all expectations, and it's already one of the most historic moments in video game history, even though it only came out a few months ago. So with that being said, I don't think anybody saw what was coming next.
Nobody thought it would be possible, but somehow Nintendo did it. On the same console, at the same time, they made a sequel.
Guess the Frame Rate 2. Similar frame rates. Yes, I can hardly believe it either. The sequel releasing alongside the original at the same time, in tandem, on the same console. How Nintendo were able to pull this off in 2025 as launch titles, no less, I can't possibly speculate. But rest assured, if you found the original game a little too beginner friendly, you know, you don't want to scare away your audience from ever playing with frame rates again, then I highly recommend you give Guess the Frame Rate 2 a go. When they subtitled it Similar Frame Rates, they weren't kidding, because these are some of the most similar frame rates I've ever seen. Look at that. What even is that? It could be anything at all. Is it 10? 20? That's it, it's one of those. And you're a better man than I if you can do all of this without having to hit the replay button like an amateur gamer's crutch. Guess the frame rate and Guess the Frame Rate 2 clearly don't dick around with you. But for as impressive as the tech is, and for as revolutionary the concept, you cannot be blinded by that. For the man blinded by the rate of the frame fails to see that there are
You okay?
and other games just
ow.
like Guess the Frame Rate, all in this perfect little bundle. The best video game I've ever played. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Nintendo's answer to Sony's Astro's Playroom for the PS5. A unique and characterful bit of software built into the console for free that aims to show off and explain every component of your brand new system while reminding you,
have to pay for that?
hey, it's still a video game. Let's have a big, big laugh.
Oh, something popped up. This says, why the gap?
So today I'm going to explain to all of you at home that have a Switch 2 why this game is worth your time while you're playing all of the other games that Switch 2 has to offer, like Mario Kart World and...
That's it.
Even from the outset, the main menu holds huge
At least at
promise,
the time.
mainly because there's warning text at the bottom left of the screen telling me that everything in the game may be out of date next month. I've also got to pick an appearance now, and oh yeah, this guy is me. How did they know? This is exactly how I looked when I went to the hands-on Switch 2 reveal event in London. I was not expecting Nintendo to be kind enough to include me, myself, in their game, and they got all of the details nailed, even down to my iconic bucket hat. Welcome to Switch 2 Welcome Tour, welcome, come on in. Well, what a lovely, warm, and inviting entrance. And the first thing I see is a man who's hurt his back. Is he okay? I would ask this lady, but I don't think she cares.
Yeah, she's
too
stiff
busy
too.
being fabulous. Oh, here we
Off we
go. Oh, up, heading up the escalator. This is so exciting. I did this in real life the other day. I can't believe they made a video game about what I did.
Oh, he actually does walk ahead. Look at that.
Now, on the day I went out and bought my Switch 2, the man at the front of Curry's told me, welcome. Then I got myself a video game called Welcome Tour. Then, after booting it up by clicking on the word Welcome Tour, I got given a giant logo with the word Welcome on it. We were told welcome when we got to the front of the line. We just went past the Welcome Tour sign, and then the lady at the welcome desk says, hello.
Oh.
The game hasn't even truly begun. And yet we've already been hit with a subversion of expectations. Right out of the gate, Switch 2 Welcome Tour wants to tell you loud and clear that it is a game uninterested in following conventional mechanics and story progression. It's new, it's audacious, and just when you think you've predicted what it will do next, it will pull the rug from under you and still have the capacity to surprise its players. What are my first impressions of the venue? Well, it feels like I'm about to check into my flight with Virgin Atlantic, and I don't like that man with the omelet on his head. Is this the biggest Nintendo Switch 2 console you've ever seen, or what? Oh,
it's the only
so
one.
That's what we're standing on? Well, that just oils my buns. What other video game out there lets you run on top of the console that you're playing it on? I will have to be honest, though. Can
you imagine if you just see the
Switch
little
2
guy
I've
on
ever
your
seen?
thing itself? Oh,
I've
boy.
seen bigger.
Oh. At least I'll put an airplane there. Oh, god damn it. What did I just say? Oh, ooh.
And it was a lovely day. But yes, that is the basic idea of this game. You and your bucket are running around on top of the Nintendo Switch 2 while learning everything about it and playing a load of mini-games that further demonstrate all of the new tech. Oh yeah, you thought that Guess the Frame Rate was the whole game? Yeah, I don't blame you. I thought that too. It was amazing. But nay, that is just one part of it, horse. There's a lot to see and a lot to do, which is great value when you consider it's all built into the console and didn't cost anything. As the lady at the Virgin Airlines check-in desk also explains, additionally, you can gain some insight into what makes the Nintendo Switch 2 console and its accessories tick, and take some quizzes to test your knowledge. Be still, my beating heart. Oh, and there's one more thing she forgot. A stamp rally? Quizzes? Stamps? This game has everything. Oh, and if I want to move around more quickly, I can run! Well, now my beating heart can't handle the blood anymore, so it's gone straight down to my willy.
Okay.
Oh, there's nobody there.
I was kind of expecting spawns, so... Ding dong ding, I guess. Oh, what the... Oh, it's me.
Hello, I'm Spawn!
Oh, there he is. I had a feeling Spawns was back.
When will you have enough money?
Never.
Watch as I sell my own body. This video has been sponsored by myself. Hello. Do you remember the time in 2022 when I blessed all of you with that special limited edition Blu-ray box set with the booklet and disc-only exclusive videos? When Caddy was making it back then, he didn't even think about the people who didn't have a Blu-ray player because he's terrible. So now we're relaunching that box set, but this time as a DVD because I pity you. Wait, so you're reselling the exact same thing again?
As a
in the description box below, at pixelempire.com/caddy, in very limited quantities. Is that
It's been 2 days, I
I'm
think.
reselling the same thing, but in slightly worse quality. And that's not all that's different. The disc has a new design based on the PS1 Platinum range in Europe. And there's new added stuff on the disc that wasn't on the original Blu-ray disc, such as an exclusive 15-minute behind-the-scenes video documenting Caddy's recent TEDx talk, as well as a new hidden video that I'm not going to tell you how to access because, the packaging of the box set is original and brand new. My box has a typo on it. The original box set booklet is back, but this time with a new cover, along with 8 additional pages not found in the original Blu-ray booklet.
Oh, don't break it.
My box doesn't have a booklet. And the DVD box set even comes with the new and exclusive sleep paralysis demon that you can stick wherever you want. On your phone, on your laptop, on your face, on your pets, on your floor, on your face, or on your priceless family heirlooms. Disclaimer, individuals who place the sticker on their property agree to the terms and conditions, including but not limited to a 68% chance of summoning the depicted entity to inflict bodily harm on all residents in your home. But the box only comes with 1 sticker. Why have I got no booklet and instead I got like 700 bloody stickers? You know what else you don't have? These brand new PS1 parody covers. I don't either. They're not printed yet. Caddy and his artists have been working tirelessly to bring to life 24 original double-sided PS1 game insert covers, all renamed and devised by him and his troubled head, that you can actually use in your own PS1 games by sliding them into the front of the existing front covers. One side for American games, another side for European. And as for Japanese games...
We don't know Japanese, so...
From the platforming classics Cash Banuka and Simon the Door, to the terrifying Restaurant Email and Silly Hat, to the atmospheric Tube Maker 2 and Medical, in each box is 3 mystery picks out of a possible 24 unique designs. And don't worry, each individual box order will have mystery picks, but there will be no duplicates in your box. I'm not fond of any of you, but I don't hate you that much.
Do you?
Oh, wow.
Are we done?
This is clearly so much more than just a DVD version of a Blu-ray relaunch merchandise. There's so much new stuff to it. Is that it? No, of course there's more. And to show you the rest of the new stuff, in honor of Black Friday, I'm going to pass you over to my cousin over there, Black Spons.
Black Spons? Let's hope that's not blackface. Don't
be shy. Say hello.
Oh boy. There's 2 of them now. Oh, God.
Hello, I'm also Spons. Oh, thank Christ.
Oh,
There's
God,
even
yeah,
a
no
deluxe
kidding.
plutonium version
I
of
was
the box
like,
set that has even more stuff for you. With all of the stuff in the standard edition included, on top of an 11x14-inch poster designed by Caddy and drawn by his thumbnail artist, and even better, 12 mystery non-duplicate PS1 covers instead of 3 covers, and free US shipping. By the way, if you don't want the plutonium box set, I don't respect you, but it's fine because all of the parody covers are available to buy individually and separate from the boxes, as well as the poster. Okay, I get it.
Handy.
It sounds perfect. It's not enough. Can I have prizes? No!
You think I should put a Caddy poster up there? Actually, I'm not sure if I can fit it up there. Let me know. I mean, I'll get it, but what do you think? I could take down some of the disc plates, though. Though, actually, speaking of the posters, I mean, there was Death Battle. Sorry, I just heard from Death Battle that. Yep, fair. Anyway, I actually heard Death Battle's Champions Island's over, and ironically, Kamen Rider Geats is actually going to get their own episode soon enough. I think the people were talking either Nero from Fate or Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. I mean, it's interesting. I might put up my old Geats display sooner or later, but what do you guys think? What do you think Geats is going to face off against? Let me know. Sorry, just looking back at that just kind of reminded me of it. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving along.
I mean, yes, every single parody cover, whether in the box set or individually purchased, all feature a prize ticket attached to them, and there's over a dozen prizes to claim with them. Everything from Pixel Empire gift cards and half-price vouchers to even more parody covers sent to you for free. And at that point, it doesn't matter if you even get a duplicate or not, because you'll then get another ticket for another chance to win something else. And for the cherry on the cake that nobody wants and nobody eats, so why is that even an expression, there are also 5 finite grand prizes to claim with the tickets. There's 30 signed random random PS1 games from Caddy's collection up for grabs. Wait, I didn't sign up for that. 20 $100 Pixel Empire gift cards up for grabs. 10 signed PS1 consoles from Caddy's collection up for grabs.
Really?
No, I'm serious.
Wait, I didn't agree to that.
This. Stop. 10 signed and framed personalized doodles from Caddy up for grabs. And for the ultimate grand prize, one single lucky person will receive Caddy's very own twat hat from this video, signed by him.
I'd say it.
But
I'm not sure.
the only twat. And if you head to the description below to pixelempire.com/Caddy,
actually start selling that twat hat
and become the next twat. Or if you're American, the next twat. Sadly, we have only produced a small and limited number of these sets, and once they're gone forever. So you better act quick if you don't want to miss out. Head to the description right now and best of luck. And don't forget, head to the description right now and best of luck. Or don't. I'm not your mum.
Teacher on. Bye.
Bye. So about those stamps.
Yeah.
Dude, sorry, I just remembered they have stamps. The stamps are, unexpectedly, the main collectible in the game. There are 12 worlds to explore, and the only way to get to each one of them is by finding all of the stamps in the previous area. Not only a brand new idea for a collectathon by forcing you to collect 100% of everything in a level before you can get to the next level, very innovative, but also serving a separate purpose of helping you find the Switch 2's G-spot. And these stamps, to the game's credit, can be pretty expertly hidden, especially considering the stamp stations stay invisible until you make them pop up. You've really got to work for these tramp stamps. But don't worry, if you can't figure it out, just ask Fred and Velma. By the end of the game, you'll have a verifiable Petri dish of all the inky warts your new console has, and it does feel fantastic to fill up the whole set. Stamp collectors, I think I finally understand you now.
Sure,
and it's all thanks to Nint with their brand new Swint. But I know what you're thinking. Caddy, you're a great lay, but what kind of stamps can you get? Well, you can get stamps basically anywhere and can be attached to basically anything. It's always a stompy, stampy surprise, with some of my favorite stamps in the game being air vent, game card slot, rubber pads, foot left, heat sink, stand pole, back cover locking mechanism, and fan. But with the good does indeed come the bad, and unfortunately not all of these stamps are winners, with my least favorites including audio jack, NFC touch point, USB Type-C connector lower, battery, LAN port, and these ones. Now let's take a step back for a sec. First impressions are everything in a video game, right? For me, if I'm not impressed in the first 45 seconds of a game, I take the disc out and poo on it. And I'm sure that you can mention off the top of your heads many iconic opening worlds or stages from all sorts of games over the years. The Village in Resident Evil 4, The Hangar in Doom 1, Green Hill Zone from Sonic, Rapture from BioShock, The Reactor from Final Fantasy VII. Well, now we can add Switch 2 Welcome Tour to that list with the equally iconic first world, Joy-Con 2L area. God, I don't even know where to go, what to do first. There's just so much to choose. What do you think, pig? Oh, he wants to read first. Okay, fair. Sometimes I play video games and then in 5 minutes pick up a book. I can't judge you for that. And as for this guy, he just got here too and he's already in agony. So right off the bat, we have a great opening stage name, a great promise of the gameplay to come, and 2 people hanging around in constant pain. I don't know how the rest of the game is going to top this, but we must let it try, so I suppose we'll head off and try our first quiz out then, eh? By pure chance, we're kicking off everything in Joy-Con 2L area with HD Rumble 2 Insights Quiz 1. But before we get too excited and our legs get all wet, we need to do a bit of reading first to prepare us for the first obstacle of the game. In fact, the game won't let us take the quiz until we read all of these insights, as they call it, which is ingenious design, because if you were able to skip these and tackle the quiz head-on without this mandatory training, you would get the questions wrong every time and therefore not be able to explore more of the game. Freedom stems from restriction. That's what Mussolini told me. So no, I don't mind having to read through all of these insights. I don't mind that a lot of them provide me with nothing at all. I don't mind that many of them are locked to a timer or video that you have to watch before you can move to the next page, and I don't mind that you have to reread them if you fail the quiz before you can try the quiz again. Give me all of that insight, grant us eyes, and we'll be quizzing in no time flat. Did you know that on the controllers, rumble won't be happening all of the time? Did you also know that you feel vibrations from the controller you're holding in your hands? With your hands? And did you also know that the Switch 2 is susceptible to panic attacks? Please don't make me do it. Please don't make me play Mario Kart. I don't like Italians. I need to go back home. You read all of the insights? Go you! Yeah, I can read. See, Dad? And that means we're finally ready to tackle the quiz all about HD Rumble. I hope you're all paying attention. What is in the controller? Microphones. How does the HD Rumble move? It doesn't. Which statement is true about how great the HD Rumble is? It's always shit. Where are the HD Rumble parts? Nowhere.
I'm not sure that's actually true, but okay. Hi. Why? You ain't gonna do the bed.
You really know what's what when it comes to HD Rumble 2 now, eh? Yeah? You bet you're rootin' tooted Sally. And if any of you viewers still want to learn even more about vibration and rumble technology, take a look through the drawers of your mum's bedside table and ask her all about it at dinner. Right, we're off now. Onward to find the rest of the quizzes. But before we do that, I just have to see what this kid has to say. She's dressed identically to me, but with the colours inverted. I need to fix her terrible taste. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. The areas progress in alphabetical order. Pretty easy to remember. You know what? She's not wrong. I do think that Joy-Con 2 L area is a great world name, but I was born with a medical condition where I can't remember more than one world name at a time, so Nintendo cut out the work that I need to put in to enjoy the game's world building. Spiral Mount... What? I can't remember that. I have rickets. This is Area A. Much better. Who needs names when you've got sequential data? Now run along, you little scamp, and play in the park with my children. 1, 2, 4, and 5. 3 didn't make it. While on my way looking for more quizzes and stamps, I even got a teaser for what's to come from this old. I had my first go on one of those mouse controls games today. Believe you me, I was sliding around like nobody's business. No, I think that's Parkinson's. But now that I'm aware that there's a mouse mode we get to mess around with, I'm more motivated than ever. Look at this. I even found a lady about to end it all by jumping off the end of her Switch 2 Joy-Con 2, and my optimism is so infectious I managed to keep her from jumping once she realized the SL and SR buttons are made of steel.
Did you know?
Did you happen to notice and or realize that games use electricity?
So we do a little bit more looking around, get a few more stamps, talk to a few more freaks, and then discover that one of the new features of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons is that you can put them on incorrectly. Oh look, it's time for another quiz. Here we go. What do you use to detach the Joy-Con 2 controllers from the console? Telekinesis. What do the Joy-Cons use to attach themselves to the console?
Magnets.
Love or glue? I mean, what's the difference? You should have been at my wedding. Where are the magnets that keep the controllers attached to the console? There are no magnets.
Oh, boy. Oh, hi. Okay, good job.
It's good to see the challenge ramping up so soon, and the game is fully aware of it too, because after finishing that quiz, a new character in this story appears, this lovely lady, and she jumps in to offer us even more non-consensual insight. But not just any insight, it's very special insight.
Grant us eyes. Grant us eyes.
Pretty much. Hey, crazy!
What makes this insight so special? Well, she'll provide us with insights that are not available on any of the museum plaques dotted around the place. It's insight exclusively from her own wisdom, and you can trust that wisdom because her brain is so big it became her hair. Okay, one more quiz to go. Found all the insights, read them all. I can read.
Sure.
Dad. Time for the quiz. How do you play games with the Joy-Con 2 mouse? By nibbling on cheese. What does the gyroscope allow you to do? Locate nearby sandwich shops. Where else can you use the mouse? Underwater.
Okay.
Another tough quiz, no doubt about that, and it's in moments like these where I'm extremely thankful for the insights you have to read before tackling them. Even if they do jump scare you sometimes with Johnny Top Teeth on the Game Boy camera. That's wonderful. Thanks for that, Nintendo. So now that you have a mouse on your Switch 2, are you gonna jump scare me with the maze game as well?
Here we go. 3, 2. Oh, I'm not there yet. Hold on. Imagine if you could. Just watch your step. He's gonna jump scare us, isn't he?
Hang on, this isn't the maze game. It's this kid's single forehead wrinkle. All of this is very well and good, absolutely, but you've thrown me into a few quizzes
on there,
so
but
far,
okay,
Kim, so
guess
I've got a
not.
quiz question for you. Why is the escalator deathly fast, and who left my nan to operate it?
What the frick?
Yes,
why?
here we go. It's the moment we've all been waiting for ever since discovering that Guess the Frame Rate was yet but one slice of the really good bread at the back of the shop. Each of the Worlds in Welcome Tour feature at least one minigame for you to play that not only demonstrate the space-age tech of the Switch 2, but also provide gameplay never before seen in the history of the Switch 2. Starting off strong with Dodge the Spiked Balls, a game where you use the Joy-Con's new mouse mode in order to pilot a UFO, avoiding balls and a lot of other balls. Yes, you heard that right. For those who didn't know, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode where you can immediately get mouse control depending on the software by taking one of the Joy-Cons and holding down on its side on a flat surface. And one of the many mini-games that use this technology is this one. It starts pretty straightforward with many smaller balls, but as time goes on, like any good difficulty curve should, the balls get bigger. Then they get faster, and they appear in lots and lots, whereas before they only appeared in lots. The longer you can survive, the more medals you're awarded. Yes, alongside collecting the stamps, and alongside doing the quizzes, and alongside reading text, you have yet another thing to work towards. These golden medals. I didn't do too bad on my first attempt, but I needed to get that second medal. So off again I went, and after another attempt, I made it to the 30 seconds. Brilliant. I got the second gold medal. I already have more than most Olympic athletes. But you know what I did? I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And once the going couldn't be kept any longer, at just over 50 seconds, I failed. No worries, nothing lasts forever. Time to move on to the next.
Well, there was a third. Damn.
There's a third. There's a hidden third medal. Oh my god. And stamps.
Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. I could hardly believe it either. This minigame had a secret third gold medal objective. And yes, slight spoiler warning, but every minigame after this will also feature this hidden medal.
So a third.
Unbelievable. Daring, even.
Weird.
How did you even do that? Honestly, I could ask you the same question. How did you add 3 medals into the minigame, but have the third one be a secret? And what?
Yeah, the hell?
Stop. Hang on. Stop. Enough. There's a part 2?
Yep.
Just like in Guess the Frame Rate? There's a sequel to this immediately afterwards in the same game? How are you doing this?
Wow.
Vomit! Blah, blah! I don't want to get carried away, though. Before we can enjoy that, we have to have our first meeting with this guy, the main villain of the game, who's collecting medals alongside you. And, as you will soon discover, the final boss. Oh, you just got your first one now? That's cool, I guess. I've already got 5, though. Well, fuck you too, you little scab. I'll show you. I'll finish the entire game. I'll get all the medals, even the secret ones. And it'll be the easiest thing I've ever done. Because I'm a grown-up, and you're a tiny little wretch. I'm sorry, I can't take this any longer. We have to get on to part 2. Dodge the Spiked Balls 2, Catch the Stars. This is where the gears are fully engaged now. You thought that the sequel game to Guess the Frame Rate was a jump up? Well, in this game, we're now avoiding spiked balls while trying to catch them. And the medals are no longer about how long you can catch stars for, but how many stars you can catch. And the best thing is you don't even need to count the stars yourself. The game does it for you. It wasn't long though, and as quickly as I begun, I did it.
Again.
63 out of 60.
Nice.
All 3 medals acquired. And then...
Let me guess. He says I already have 10 now.
They did a... No, I'm not joking.
A third? Oh.
Close your gapes, everyone.
Tornado.
Welcome Tour just got even better. The game where you move a UFO around a screen with your mouse, there's a third game of it. Dodge the Spiked Balls 3 Twin UFOs. The birth was revolting, but the game is not. You're avoiding spiked balls while collecting stars, while controlling 2 UFOs together with each hand at the same time. Have you ever used 2 mice before on Windows?
Nope.
I did.
Oh.
It didn't work. This minigame is quite the step up, let me tell you. The only way I was able to actually do it was by reverse cross-eyeing myself and using peripheral vision to try and guide both spaceships around. If you're stuck on this divisive second sequel to the seminal Dodge the Spike Balls, then that's my hint for you. Don't try to look at each ship at the same time. Just stop looking at everything entirely and you'll get there at some point. After this, we can do a little more exploring of Area A, where we'll also end up finding the second mini-game of the world. Find the strongest rumble. Subtitle, Along a Line. As the title suggests, you move a cursor left and right with a mouse cursor because the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode, and then you click down on the trigger when you think you found the strongest level of HD rumble. There's not much else to go into. Like I said earlier, simplicity is one of this game's best strengths, but what I will say is that I managed to nail the epicenter on the exact level of distance away from the highest possible medal score, which, if you ask me, is harder than landing on the epicenter completely. You try getting 3 spots off of your target exactly. Actually, don't try, because you can't. There's also a part 2 to this minigame as well. Find the strongest rumble 2 along 2 axes. But my excitement knowing there's a part 2 has come down slightly since we've already seen that some minigames can go up to a trilogy, so it's no longer as big of a shock for me. But what is a shock is just how long it took me to find even close to the epicenter of where the rumble is once you have to consider up and down directions as well as left and right directions. You want to know how long it took me? 23 minutes. 23 minutes to move a mouse around and click once. And after those brutal 23 minutes, I gave up. So I asked my partner Keris to do it for me, and she did it in under 9 seconds and landed on the exact point.
Wow. Go, honey.
That woman really knows her vibrating hand-sized devices. Still, though, I think you've got to give Welcome Tour some credit, because that was 23 minutes of pure, raw, uninterrupted, uncut gameplay on a mini-game, a side mode. Incredible value, considering the game's free.
Not really, $10.
To part 3, the return of the king of vibration-based hide-and-seek video games everywhere. Find the strongest rumble 3. False positives. This time, we have free control of our direction. However, the pregnancy test is faulty. There are multiple vibration areas all over the screen that can be pretty strong, but not the strongest. So you need to be able to figure out which one of the multiple areas are still weaker than the main one that you have to find. And then after that, you then have to land as close onto the epicenter as possible. Okay, I know this is Nintendo, I know it's a launch title, I know it's teaching me how everything works, but come on, do me one. This sounds way too easy, even for this game.
Sure about that? Oh, that is so far away.
Man, oh man, what an opening. Actually, no. What a welcome. Oh yeah, about that. I'm sure that a lot of you out there are probably really upset and disappointed over the lady at the beginning of Switch 2 Welcome Tour saying hello to you instead of welcome. I know I was. But don't worry, that disappointment hit me and it fueled me to tally every single time that I saw the word welcome for the rest of my playthrough. And it turns out it's 22. So the game does make up for it. However, as much fun as we've all had in this now iconic, unforgettable opening video game world, Area A, we do need to move on to Area B, and our reward for finding all of the stamps finally allows us to step all over your Switch screen, which is exactly like how the UK post office system works.
Hope you
a bit of a risky move throwing an ice level so early in the game, no doubt. But what is Nintendo if not a risk taker, a rule breaker? And personally, I admire the courage of them to put something like this so early on in the game. However, it is still a bit of a difficulty spike, and you have to be extremely careful now, since exploring around for all of the stamps in this area does introduce a new losing state. Falling down. There is a lot to see on World 2, and not just because of it being more than quadruple the size of World 1. There's more stamps to find, more people to talk to that are lost on a big rectangle with nothing on it, and we even find a fire exit just in case your Switch 2 combusts and you need to know where your body needs to be to keep away from the fire. It's also in Area B where we discover the rumors are true. The speakers do face downwards a little bit. Oh my god, yes! I finally found the G spot! The game spot. where you put the games in. It's also here that we meet probably the most hardcore man in video game history. A total, utter shagger who absolutely loves reading insights and is utterly overjoyed that he can get from one area to the next by collecting stamps. Dude, yes, I've been trying to tell everyone this for weeks. I think you're just misunderstood because your hat is bigger than your head. Area B, also known as Nintendo Switch 2 console area, also begins introducing us to some more interesting NPCs. And I say interesting in the sense that they're completely shitting mental. My sixth sense. It speaks to me.
Get me off
no,
this
man,
thing.
That's your dead wife. Listen to her and fall backwards. Oh, I found some more insights about the console speakers. That must mean a quiz is imminent. What did they do with the speaker boxes inside the system? Fill them with water. What are the speakers sandwiched between? Clothes pegs.
Hello.
Hey, Sandwich. Alright.
And today, I'm going to show you how to make my most special, popular staple dish.
How you doing, buddy?
Squeam like a pig.
What? Is that a knife? Okay.
First, you need peg, ham, peg. Enjoy.
Ow! Okay, I was about to say.
Whoa, you got all the questions right? Give it up for our new rising star. You're like a pro at speaker trivia. Lady, thank you. That's what I've been trying to tell Oxford University, but they just won't let me in. I really hope you're watching, Oxford Toffs, because that's not all I can do either. I can finish quizzes about microphones too. Did you know that they can capture mood and emotions? And that in the Switch 2, the external noise cancelling they have isn't that amazing, but it does its best to erase the noises. Let him off. He's trying his hardest. He's only a baby. Okay, the year is 2025, right?
No kidding. Ouch.
Yeah? And after all this time, there hasn't been one video game released that features my favourite thing in the world, audio feedback. I've been waiting my whole life for one video game to blast out my favourite thing in the world, and I just don't think at this point that any game is ever going to give it to... Nintendo, how did you know?
Oh, there it goes. Frick?
Anyway, here we go, the microphone quiz. Question 1. What is built into the Switch 2? A microphone. By the way, just as a side point, for as fascinating and difficult as these questions all are, it has unfortunately made me notice one negative thing about the Switch 2, which is that the chip in the console designed to make people's voices easier to hear doesn't balance out the size of their mouths. I'm not angry, I just wish they told me. If you want to focus on the quizzes though, well, in terms of them, absolutely nothing, not a single thing beats the stand quiz.
Oh boy.
A quiz all about the stand. And not only is it a quiz all about the stand, but the insights you need to read to access it amount to one single insight.
One page,
I really love this change of pace. No teasing, no foreplay, just give that stand a right old ram. What could they possibly fit inside the one individual insight anyway? Surely there's just too much information about the stand. Let's see.
I already did that one.
On the back of the console, there is a stand. Yeah, I'm ready for the quiz.
Later.
Question 1. What is a stand? A stand. Now that may be my personal favourite quiz in the whole game, and I am the most important person in the room, but alas, I'm not the only person. And this lady here is completely besmitten and borderline obsessed with the console screen quiz. Doesn't that just sound fascinating? I mean, yeah,
calm down, buddy.
Stand quiz.
Good to see you again, Cybra.
Crazy bitch. You know, for as much as I'm loving Welcome Tour so far, I will knock it on one thing in particular. Even though it is really intuitive to lock you out from the quiz until you read all of the insights, some of these quizzes do require a little bit too much reading. In fact, some of the quizzes are quite frankly a little bit ick with how much they expect you to read. Come on, game. I want to see more stuff like find the strongest rumble and guess the frame rate, and I can't even skim through most of these insights. Can you at least cater to somebody in my position? I've got attention deficit hyperactivity, don't give me a book. What are the little images on the screen called?
Pixels?
Pickles. It's said in an insight that the sound of clapping specifically doesn't get removed. That sure came out of left field. Jesus, yeah, it did. Oh my god, did that insight really say that? That's a mask-off moment. I had no idea it felt like that. It needs to be cancelled. And to top it all off for Area B, we end with a touchscreen-only minigame that none of you will be able to see, and a HDR tech demo that you also won't be able to see, because I can't record in HDR, so whenever I turn it on, it makes the picture go... Oh, hang on. I said tech demo, didn't I? Completely forgot to mention them. Yeah, there aren't just mini-games. There aren't just quizzes. There aren't just stamps. This game also has a load of tech demo tents scattered around that serve the same purpose as mini-games, but don't have a game to play. Isn't that fun? But what is a tech demo? Well, luckily, we have our #1 reporter on the scene ready to explain it. What have you got for us, Jim?
Where'd he get that?
Hello everybody, this is Jim back to you, and I'm here to... Thanks for that, Jim. Sadly, these tech demo tents only reward you with 1 medal, and there's no secret high score objectives. But still, it's another thing to collect, and you can never have too much of that, can you?
Depends. Oh, right, it's Bandicoot wall. That makes sense. Like, why do you have us, Caddy? Oh, what the hell? What the fuck?
Fortunately for us, the amount of time you spend on the tech demos reflects how many medals that they're worth. You're only in them for a few minutes, you get 1 medal. They are perfectly paced. One moment you'll be testing out the noise reduction microphone by screaming out loud while using a vacuum cleaner. Wow, thanks to Nintendo, I finally separated my mental breakdowns from my cleaning. But then, just when you were getting comfortable, the next moment you'll be asked to shake maracas around over 100 times. I got shot. A tech demo like this? Here? Who'd have thought it? I travelled a long way to get here, and it's already worth the trip. Whoa, that's quite high praise. And what tech demo in that tent are you talking about? I'll tell you. Playing Mario 1 from really far away. There's a demo later on that lets you mess around with the Joy-Cons rumble and shows you how it's so subtle and complex that it can actually make sounds based on vibrations alone. That's shit. I want more stamps. And soon after that, another tech demo appears that lets you directly customize the speed and ferocity of the rumble all by yourself.
Whoa.
There's a tech demo where you get to feel the joy and excitement of using a saw.
What the frick? Okay.
Let's go. There's another tech demo where you hold the Joy-Cons like motorbike handles and rev up the engine until you hit maximum speed. There's another tech demo where you mess around with the Switch 2's microphone and have a great time with some very good effects.
Why am I a gorilla now?
I have cancer.
There's a demo where you can compare super resolution mode next to 720p, a demo where you splash a load of suspiciously thick water around, a demo where you can manually adjust the variable frame rate, which you're not allowed to see, a demo where you can manually adjust the refresh rate that you're not allowed to see, a 3D sound test mode that is 18+, and after being told how high-tech and advanced the new HD rumble and motion sensors are in the controllers, there's even a demo that tests those controllers by allowing you to roll a ball around that doesn't work with the screen out of the dock, so you can't see that either. We all love a good show, don't tell, but personally, I prefer a don't show, don't tell.
Let's go games again.
I regret to tell you that I've already talked about the minigames here because there's only guess the frame rate. And as much as I would love to talk for another half an hour about how brilliant it is, too much of something is not good for you. So instead, I'll answer a question that has probably been on your mind since the opening of this video. That area in Leeds, where the world's first frame rate was captured, is it still there? Can you visit it? Can you recreate this film? Well, after a little bit of research, I discovered that sadly, the stately home where this monumental film took place was actually demolished many decades ago, with only the adjacent stately home next to it remaining strong and currently being used as a retirement home, presumably for old frame rates. All that remains from the original location of Roundhay Garden scene, and right next to the other stately home currently still standing, is the original house's border wall right here.
Damn.
Or is it?
Oh, off we go. Careful. What are you doing? I was gonna say, why not just go out the window? Okay, that works. Hey! Huh. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's kind of sad that there's nothing else left.
Aww.
But the good news is that even though the building is gone, it lives in spirit forever in the McDonald's over the road, so I'm going there instead and making the most out of my trip to Leeds by testing out something else on Welcome Tour that doesn't work while plugged into the TV. Luckily, we don't need Joy-Cons because I thought they were nuggets and they're all gone, so the next thing to do is ask the question, are you ready for the mini-game of your life? Whoop whoop. Well, if you mean playing Twister with McDonald's fingers, then yeah, I'm ready.
I hope you wipe that off.
Ready like
There's the 20 piece of nuggets. These are my nuggets now.
Ate some bready. Died from leady. Poisoning. And he said, ow, I was not ready for that. Much like a few of the tech demos, there's a couple of minigames that I can't record properly because they need to be removed from the dock and therefore the capture card. Much like with this one, Touch 10. I tried doing it while the Switch was in the dock, but the dock bit me. The variety available in Switch 2 Welcome Tour is already remarkable, but being able to play something completely different away from the TV pushes the variety over the edge of a cliff in a wheelchair. In what other game can you put parts of your body on different colors when it tells you to? And then on top of that, you have a part 2 of this minigame where they shuffle the colors for you. As in, you don't have to shuffle the colors yourself, the game does it. And then you have a part 3 where they make the same game even more difficult by adding all 7 colors. Despite this, however, I'm a professional hard, so even though it would be a lot simpler to get another pair of hands to help, I'm determined to do all of this by myself, and I think you should too, even if it means using your nose.
Careful.
I believe in you, so don't take any help. Be a Chad Sigma Rizza and do it all on your own. And if you do it all by yourself and get all of the medals completely alone, you unlock a secret mode of the game where Nintendo helps you grow another hand. My favorite color is that one. And that one. I can't use my other fingers, I'm dipping. Off we pop to Area C then. Joy-Con 2R area. The Dark World version of Joy-Con 2L area. And I wanted to introduce you all to this world by showing you the first insight I learned in it. A long, long time ago, Nintendo used to sell its own mice. Yeah, it was a bleak period for Nintendo back then, but if it weren't for all those experiments they did on them, Super Mario Sunshine would never have been finished. We also get told about the magnetic connectors on the system body and how they might look a little unstable, but don't worry, they're not at all. And please don't bend the controllers around to test that. It's perfect, trust us, they won't shatter. Shut up, stop looking at me, you're giving me a...
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, guys, I can't believe it. So as I record this video right now, I'm in the middle of editing that very bit of me standing outside what I thought was the border wall between the original Roundhay Garden Scene house and the current still standing stately home. And after a bit of research, it turns out that's not the wall. It's actually another wall on the other end of the property, right opposite. That's the wall. That's the actual wall that's still standing from Roundhay Garden Scene. And it's really annoying because I want to be taken seriously as a documentarian, as a, you know, a filmmaker, a historian.
What's to tell you? You gotta be careful where you're aiming.
This is an error I can't let slip through, but in order to, you know, achieve that goal. But I can't justify going all the way back to Leeds to redo everything because it's a 4-hour drive for me, 4.5 with traffic.
Ouch.
But it's not correct, is it? And that's not, you know, historically accurate. So I don't know. Do you think I should go all the way back there and refilm that whole scene at the correct wall? No. Time to run around and chat with the locals then. And the first kid we run into and speak to does something extremely surprising. He tells us that he prefers to collect the stamps and tells his mum to play the actual game for him. Nintendo once again unafraid of public backlash, going out of its way to be inclusive and show every type of person that stands on a Switch 2, even the people who buy the console and hate playing it. Not only that though, he also says the word mum, not mom. And speaking as a person of British, I massively appreciate the representation. But Welcome Tour has way more UK-isms and slang to offer you. Not just that. Earlier on, there was a guy that said the word boffin, and later on, I found someone who described a good job as tidy. My only constructive criticism for this that I have is that there could be a few more English words or phrases. I didn't see a single character refer to something great as mint. I didn't see a single character call me a slag, and at no point did anyone lose one of their children and shout, "Where are you, you little c***?" It's alright though, because there is another C word in this game, Area C. And in Area C, we do find other characters to talk to, and fortunately for us, they are easily the most demented people in the game yet. I think I want to try out the stand angle minigame. I think you need help. Christ, look at this guy over here, permanently stuck in place, staring at an LED, and he never moves an inch. Every other character standing around doing nothing move when you talk to them. Even if it's just a posture change and nothing else, they at least animate. But this kid is the only one that just does not move. Where are this boy's parents? Are they hiding under the analog stick over here? Tee-hee-hee.
Weird.
Hi everybody, my name's Caddicarus, and welcome to my list of the top 10 questions I have about this dubious and potentially illegal situation. Number 10, what are you doing here? Number 9, what are you laughing about? Number 8, are you giggling or is that the Switch 2 being tickled? Number 7, why can I see the outline of my entire body through the stick but both of you don't have a top half? Number 6, are you two kids messing around or is one of you an adult? Number 5, if one of you is an adult, then what are you doing hiding under a shadowy covering with a child? Number 4, why can't I move the camera around enough to check how old you both are, because that changes the angle of my concern entirely. Number 3, why does your shadow show me that you have a ponytail that's been super glued upwards, and why does my shadow look like a sleeping bag? Number 2, should somebody with this silhouette be allowed near anybody? And number 1, why? Guys, holy god-damning god-dick! I was already used to the idea of the mini-games getting sequels, but here we have a sequel quiz. I am being spoiled, and I deserve it. I'm a good boy. Here we go. Mouse Sensor Insights Quiz 2. How do you turn the mouse controller back into a regular controller? Contact Nintendo.
Oh!
Well, it's good to know that if you ever forget how to change controller modes, Nintendo won't tell you if you phone them. Always a delight to see a fellow seeker of mouse sensor knowledge. Demented, the lot of you. So we finish all the quizzes and get another visit from the giant brain lady to give us some more exclusive insights too hot for TV. And I didn't notice this before, but every time she appears, she has an assistant right behind her diligently taking notes. By the looks of things, his outfit, the colors and everything, he seems to be a doctor keeping a close eye on her insight growth. I hope she makes it until the final boss. I might need her summoned. Ever tried to guess what a 30-degree angle looks like?
I'm curious. Does he have all the accessories? But
I really hope someone makes a game about it.
At least mini games. Oh, you went lower.
I wasn't expecting to use the console stand for a game. Yeah, me neither. Paving slab head. So this is another one of those mini games that you can't record off of your TV because the standard Switch 2 dock is sadly not wide enough to fit the console and the stand fully open at the same time like it should be. But it's no big deal because there's not much to mention. It's only a two-parter minigame series after all. Part 1 gives you 3 individual angles with the degrees and a visual hint, while all you have to do is move the stand to such a place where you think that the Switch 2 console is recreating that angle that is shown on the screen that you are tilting in order to match the angle. Then the degrees you are off of from the final answers get tallied across all 3 guesses. The lower the score, the better the medal, just like in basketball. After that, it's the same deal in part 2, but this time you just have the degrees you need to estimate without any visual hint at all. Please let me know if I'm going too quickly. On part 1, I managed to get my total guess score exactly bang on the score needed for the hidden third medal. And on part 2, with no visual hints at all, no less, I managed to get 2 degrees off of all 3 guesses in total. So I guess you could say I'm a great angler. The next minigame on this area is Speed Maze, where my biggest question about the Switch 2 was finally answered. Will it have a remaster of the PS1 game Irritating Stick? And wouldn't you know it, it absolutely does. But it's arguably even better now that video game technology is a lot more advanced, and now you're able to use one of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons in a new mouse mode. I shan't tell a lie, despite all the previous minigames being great enough as is, this is the one that pushes your gamer skills to the Pepsi Max, because it was the first time in the 2 hours and 55 minutes of playtime so far that I was actually concentrating. But get ready to strap yourselves in and plow your car into a hedge, because this is our first ever 4-parter minigame. Yes, 4-parter, as in 4 parts. Part 1, out of 4 parts, is based on the original book in the quadrilogy that started it all, Speed Maze, Long Walls. Very self-explanatory. You're a mouse, there's long walls, have a wall. After that, it moves on to the more complex but objectively superior Speed Maze 2, Up and Down. I've got this, everyone, don't worry. First attempt, here we go. Not only does this one push the envelope even further than the first book, but it also provides the saga with its first major twist. We all thought, due to the title, that this was just going to be a load of up and down, but then left and right walks in and shit hits the fan. After this is part 3, the most controversial and divisive of the quadrilogy, Speed Maze 3, A Pair of Glasses. Personally, it might be my favourite of the saga, but I do understand the critiques people have made about it. I mean, I'd say that it looks more like a cassette tape. And look at how fast it wants you to get from here to here without touching the edges for the hidden third medal.
3 seconds.
3 seconds. All the way from 10. 7 seconds quicker. How could they expect anybody to do that?
Let's see. Is it? Come on.
Bah.
Here it goes. Once. Jeez, that was close. Sheesh. Really gotta learn where to cut the corners. I did that!
But then there's part 4. The tired and uninspired cash grab sequel that came 2 decades too late when the lead mouse was in his 60s. Speed Maze 4, A Tight Squeeze. That was pretty quick, right? Wouldn't you say? Well, yeah, it was very quick. But somehow it wasn't fast enough. That's just obscene. What is this, Christmas morning? Do you want to know how quick they want you to do this for the hidden third medal? Half a second or faster. I don't think you understand how quick that actually is. This attempt wasn't fast enough.
The fuck?
They wanted me to go 1/3 of a second faster than that. So I did.
How? Oh, wow.
Let's be honest, and this is my first major unbiased criticism of this game. This is objectively luck. No skill involved whatsoever. Just throw your mouse at the wall and hope it doesn't bleed. But equally, I forgive you, Welcome Tour, because I can't be objective or fair in my criticisms when you consider that you came built into the Switch 2 for free.
Really? $10? Flowers? Jeez. That's perfectionism. Oh!
Are they glasses? I think my head is going to screw itself off when you thought that this game, which is already brilliant, couldn't get any better. You can find missing items scattered all over the console, and we're not talking cool gamer things shoveled in as blatant product placement like Dorito crumbs or layers of dead skin. We're talking actual, real, tangible objects used by people with lives like glasses, hats, books, packs of playing cards, and one single pair of maracas. Not only yet is this another gameplay element that works in tandem with all the other moving parts going on, but it's also a relatable one. I mean, don't you hate it when that happens? I remember one time I dropped my keys on my PSP. I was homeless for 3 weeks. What do you do with these items after you find them though? Well, luckily you don't have to bring it back to another character that was looking for them in another area of the game, because much like how the game uses everyday real-life objects as collectibles, Nintendo loops that real-life theme back around by breaking the fourth wall and acknowledging you in real life too. The game respects you as an individual outside of its game world. It knows how busy real people are. It wants to save you time. So what you do instead is hand the item into the front desk and the game sorts it all out for you. But that's not all. You don't even need to run all the way back there. You can simply open the pause menu, choose the location of the front desk from one of your many stamps, and then warp there immediately. I mean, seriously, Switch 2 welcome tour. I love you. Just tell me to drop them and I'll say hello. What do all of us also really like in all of our games? Yes, player choice. And Welcome Tour doesn't skimp out on that either. If you want to run all the way back to the front desk from wherever you are, you absolutely can, thanks to the game's meticulously planned, intricate open world that loops back around on itself, much like in Dark Souls. And don't worry if you think you'll be moving too slow to do that. There's another character around here that tells you that you can hold B to run around. Nintendo have thought of everything here. And did you also know that Nintendo have had control sticks for a very long time? She seems to have an invisible light, yeah. She takes control and puts it into your eye. So we're all done with Area C, time to move on to Area D. And this part coming up, you get to go inside the Joy-Con. I also actually really enjoyed a lot of the console design trivia. It's clear that a lot of thought went into this very affordable gadget, like how the dock has 4 rubber feet, but one of them has more plastic on the edge of the rubber than the other 3, so that it has more of a slide if you accidentally yank a cable to prevent it from tipping over. Or like how the system knows how much data to read and process from a Switch 1 game compared to a Switch 2 game based on a small notch in the Switch 2 cartridges. Good on Nintendo for making this game free. It's great to find out about the backwards compatibility though, because that was the most crucial aspect for me. If I'm getting a Switch 2, I need to be able to play Popeye. Oh god, who's this beef? Is that Bluto? Is that supposed to be Bluto?
Yeah.
He doesn't look so tough. New area, new obstacles, new challenges, and new stamps.
Isn't it digital only, though?
You got any hints for me, old boy? I can't find the rest of the stamps.
Nope, guess not. He's right next to it.
Huh, pretty awesome that we get to see the circuit board. Okay, man, you're not gonna believe this, but you can actually do this at home whenever you want.
And how much does he go through?
It won't push. I can't get it to work.
Oh boy. Ooh, done.
Here it is. Oh, no. Is that you in there?
Ah!
Oh, look. I'm being spoiled even more. It's another quiz. What is the Joy-Con 2's accelerometer able to tell?
Sorry, just the amount of times he just breaks this stuff. I'm surprised he even gets stuff on eBay. You know? Like, you think you see the Caddy name, be like, oh, well. This guy's just gonna break it, isn't he? Jeez. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. He's a mid-condition game. You know that dude's just gonna break it if he doesn't like the game, you know? I mean, have you seen the PS1 Disney stuff? I'm just saying, you know? You'll destroy it, run it over, whatever. I'm just saying, I'm surprised he hasn't been kicked off the place, you know? Just saying. I didn't think he's avoided all this. Anyway.
Today's weather. Right then, I'm done with the already unforgettable Joy-Con 2 art in an area. Or at least that's what I thought, because out of nowhere, in another Easter egg reference to Dark Souls, like a chosen undead descending further into Blighttown, I've now ended up in an even deeper layer of the Joy-Con. So deep, in fact, I can't even show you what it looks like on YouTube. And despite being at the lowest possible geographical point, we're still finding people trying to jump and end it all 4 feet from the floor. But don't worry, at least this guy has someone behind him to stop him. No, buddy, please stop, don't do it. There's so much to live for, like stamps. Huh, so magnets are used to make it rumble. Your mummy is learning a lot today too. Please don't ever call me your mummy ever again. Or are you talking to the lampshade next to you? Okay, right, we got some more insights here. I am learning a lot today, more than I ever learned from school, or AA, or Rajneesh, or Blue's Clues. What better reward could there be for reading all that text than a quiz? I don't know. A blowy? Okay, seriously, we are like 5 hours into this campaign mode, and you're only asking me now what these things are? Welcome, Tor. I do think you're wonderful, but your difficulty spikes are all over the place.
There again.
Golf used to be only allowed for rich people, but not anymore. Now it's on the Switch too, for the low, low price of a mortgage. It's not just regular boring-ass golf, though. This is speed golf. Ah, like Speed Maze. In the game industry, we call that leitmotif. The concept is very straightforward. You see, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode, and with that, you aim your golf club with the mouse. Hold the click to ready your shot, and then shove the mouse gently or hardly to hit the ball towards the grass throat. Here is part 1 of the minigame, the beginner course.
Done. Damn.
Nice win.
Oh,
Here is part 2 of the minigame, the winding course. And before I even begin, I'm warned by the assistant that part 2 is pretty curvy, which is very lucky because I happen to be fat-phobic, so thank you for giving me a metal club. Despite all the warnings though and a few failed attempts, it doesn't matter. Bish bang boom, another hole in one, slosh. Then we move on to part 3 of the minigame, angular course. Now listen here, sunshine. So far compared to everything else in Welcome Tour I have played, nay, lived, I must say that Speed Golf 3 Angular Course undoes itself in quality. It's extremely rare, if not endangered, to encounter a later part of a game that appears easier than the earlier parts and that requires less specific accuracy, yet somehow keeps you playing it for 25 minutes. But Speed Golf 3 found a way. And I know that it looks like I'm doing something wrong on purpose, but that's the great thing about Speed Golf 3. Even though it's just 3 straight shots from a starting point to a hole, it really doesn't hold back by testing you without falling back on the crippling concessions and mechanic constraints of modern mainstream gaming. Speed Golf 3 fires at you without holding your hand because you need to figure out how to hold your own hand yourself. And I mean that completely literally. Even after 25 minutes of trying to do this properly, I still cannot figure out how or why certain hand movements cause certain levels of power. If you swing hard and short, the ball barely moves at all. And if you swing hard and short, the ball gets sued so hard that it flees the country. I still cannot understand how this works, and I'm not a game dev or a controller engineer or a Switch 2, but all I can say is that length and speed of the swing seems to affect the ball completely randomly, and I just don't get it. I'm not complaining though. I recognize my own limitations and my lack of understanding. There's probably a reason for all of this, and I just don't understand it. And regardless, I appreciate the difficulty. Welcome Tour by definition is not for first timers, and it's refreshing to play a game without any hand-holding or tutorial panels. The last golf game I played, yellow paint all over the place. I'm not an idiot. I know where every hole is, thank you. And it's an extra bonus if you swing the club and hit the ball vertically up, but then it goes the other way because it forgot something in Tesco's. I wasn't aware that the golf ball itself was trying to get away from the hole because it's actually an enemy, but it does make sense when you consider how advanced the enemy AI is throughout the rest of the game. Not to mention, all of this stuff also added a substantial 25 minutes to my playtime. That's not bad at all, especially for a launch title that's built into the console and didn't cost anything. At least we're now at the end of the area after all of that. That's good. I feel very accomplished, and we close it all off by finding out that this new button on the controller is in fact the cha-cha button.
The cha-cha. Hey, Long, there you are. Did you hear us back? Here we go!
Oh, hello, Long Dennis. It's been too long.
You've made it this far into the game, so now you're on the sudden death question. If you get it right, you double your winnings. If you get it wrong, you die.
I'm happy with either.
Here we go!
Oh boy.
And your question is, do you know why the L and R buttons are longer?
Bigger hands.
They aren't longer.
Oh?
Oh, Oh no! You got the question wrong, but luckily for you, your answer activated the gaslighting bonus, meaning you get to try another question. How have the L and R buttons been modified to ensure that they feel satisfying to press?
Yeah,
That's
I
lighting
definitely
bolts.
know this, for real. 2 shafts and springs were added.
Yes, you win the double jackpot.
Oh! What is
Yay!
it?
I must use the bathroom.
Oh, sorry. It's just down the hall and then you...
Finished.
But you didn't leave. There's no mess on the floor. How did you do that?
It's
though.
long.
Ow. Okay. Ow. Sheesh.
Yes. When I'm playing Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, do you know what I love more than my time exploring around Joy-Con 2R inner area? My time exploring around Joy-Con 2 strap area. I have been seeing a lot of negative talk about this game online, which should all be criminalized, but my question to you all is that how can you dislike a video game that features a hub world area that is a strap? You get to walk on the straps, you get to find things hidden underneath the twists of the straps, you get to learn absolutely everything you wanted to know about the straps. Having this in the game is huge for the industry of big strap. Whoa, you can loop the strap around your wrist. The strap has feet to let it slide easier. It has a spring and 2 small pieces of rubber to stop the strap shaking. It is a strap. It's stuck together with a running stitch, satin stitch, zigzag stitch, running stitch, running stitch. The strap can form a loop. It's fairly thin. You can detach the strap and put it back on. Oh man, really? Does it also strap? Well, now I know everything there is to know about straps. I mean, it even explained to me in detail how loops in a rope work. So I'm more than ready for a quick quiz about straps. What are the tiny springs inside the straps designed for? To catapult rubber bands. What can you do with the Joy-Cons once you've looped them? You know what? I don't know. What do you think, Strap?
Oh. The heck is this music? The heck?
Use me as a 2-way radio. Well, I'll be blowed, you're right. I guess nobody else would know better about the strap than the strap. Thanks, Strap. And by the way, you look strapping. Oh, thanks. I'm actually going to a christening. Oh, really? Who's it for? A strap. Be quiet. There's only one mini game in Strap World, split up into 3 parts. But rest assured, it tests all that you'll learn about a strap and how strong it is while you're shaking the motion controller around by making you hold the controller down flat on the table. But it's okay. It's not just that, because you got to click on things and be quick about it. It's click quick.
Okay.
Click quick tick, click quick click brick on dick.
Oh, ow.
And it isn't just clicking on things quickly either. What are you, a freak? You also have to click accurately, because if you click anywhere else other than the targets, you fail the minigame and need to start again. It's like if you're playing whack-a-mole, but if you hammer anything else other than a mole, you lose 1 day of your lifespan. Luckily for us though, we can be much quicker and more accurate while playing this, because we don't need to use the analog sticks, since the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode, making this minigame a lot more reasonable to do quickly. This is part 1 of the minigame, where all you have to do is hit one target.
1.3?
You start here, move here, and click.
How long that one
Do
take?
you want to see how quick they want you to do this for the hidden 3rd gold medal?
1.3? Oh,
yeah, that still wasn't
0.15?
fast enough. Hashtag do better.
Jesus. Oh, come on. Okay.
Thinking about this a little more though, I haven't mentioned anything about the music yet, have I?
Jeez.
Well, hey, if there's any place to do it, it's definitely here, because the soundtrack is so good here that they allow you to relive the first 3 seconds of it on repeat over and over again as you try to get your high score.
Oh boy.
Part Part 2 is called Part 2 because there's 2 more targets than the last.
Why?
Do you want to see how quick they want you to do this for the hidden 3rd gold medal?
Please, just above a second.
Yeah, that still wasn't fast enough.
0.8. Okay. Okay, at least you got that one.
Part 3 is called Part 3 because there are 4 targets. And they move.
Jesus
Do you want...
Okay, let's see this time.
Yeah, that still wasn't fast enough.
Oh, just a second flat now. Oh, now you want it in a second. Oh, finally. Ugh. Jesus Christ.
Well,
nice strap necklace.
As fun as that was, we are now all done with Joy-Con 2 strap area. And we've not only had a blast so far, but we've also learned a lot about how this console works, from the advanced controller vibration to all the clever little audio recording improvements. So it's really surprising that 6 worlds in, the first person you speak to didn't know there was a microphone. This is Nintendo Switch 2 dock area, better known as a reef, and it is going to go out of its way to educate you on what the Switch 2 dock is and what it's able to do. For instance, did you know that the dock isn't just a stand for the Switch 2? It also connects the Switch 2 to the TV.
No kidding.
Since when? That's not the only insight either. You also get an explanation for why the dock has a hunchback. It's because it's easier to access the controller detach buttons, not because it's following the curvature of the Earth. I mean, the sheer dump truck of knowledge this game provides you with, while you're not even aware because you're playing a game, needs to be commended. I haven't had this much learning happen to me without me realizing since RM Math's learning system. Look at this, they even have an entire information booth dedicated to slightly raised spots. I haven't seen any booths like this since the COVID test center. There's a quiz about the dock, and then another quiz about the dock, and then a quiz about the AC adapter, finished off with a man staring at the health and safety engravings like they're Egyptian hieroglyphics. There's even a reason why the back of the dock is round. There really is an insight for everything.
Sure about that?
She's not even listening to
me.
I'll be your wife. Come on, let's skip on over to the registry office and finalize the divorce. By the way, do you know why I want a husband? I'll tell you. It's because I want somebody legally tied to me so they can't run away whenever I want to play
games. Hi.
And what better minigame to force your spouse to play with you than spot the individual moving pixel?
Jeez. Okay, even I can barely see that. 5 pixels. God damn.
I did that with my wife blood ritual. And don't get disappointed yet, all of you Part 2 lovers, because there is also indeed a Part 2. Except this time, the individual moving pixels aren't just moving. They're moving in another way. Look, I don't know if it was these new eyes I just put in recently, or if I'm just that good at spotting white things running away from me, but I didn't find this that difficult at all. Although I will admit, I am being carried a lot by how quick and simple it is to click on these pixels, due to the brand new feature of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons having a new mouse mode. In fact, there are many minigames and even tech demos that aren't even possible to do without the correct technology outside of what Nintendo themselves can offer you. This is a fresh and innovative style of difficulty scaling, IMO. Not only do you need to get better at the challenges the game scales along with you as you learn, but you also need to have the correct hardware in real life to even do some of those challenges in the first place. After all, being poor is a skill issue, so what better way to motivate players to do better at the in-game challenges itself than to get them to do better at life outside of the game? If you want to complete Welcome Tour, you are actively encouraged to get outside, stop being such a doormat, and make more munt in order to buy a 4K HDR TV in order to play 4K Pixel Hunt. If you want the hunt, you need the munt. But yes, I know. Doesn't this all sound a little bit, homophobic? No, it isn't, which is why the game includes its own cheat system to help out those people that can't afford the rest of the stuff they need to complete the game, or that they can afford it but can't get it anywhere in stock. You can actually input
really?
a specific sequence of buttons while talking to the mites attached to your console, and they'll allow you to skip the minigame you are locked out from doing. Even cooler,
Really?
this button sequence is actually Morse code for SOS, spit on salad. And topping it all off, you don't even get a gold medal. You get a second place medal in the special shade of You Tried Grey. Let's also say for a second that you do pull your finger out and actually head out to make something of yourself, buy a 4K HDR TV, and then come back to finish off your brand new Switch 2 game. You could get home, hook it all up, open up the mini game that was locked out to you initially, and then remember that you're blind. You can't even see the pixels moving after all of that, and the mini game is still not able to be finished, which makes this silver medal skipping system all the more valuable. Gatekeeping in video games is a touchy topic, usually only reserved for set examples like Elden Ring or Croc 2, but here I don't even think it applies, because Switch 2 Welcome Tour doesn't give a shit whether or not you've got the wrong hardware or the wrong organs. If you can't do something, tough. Good luck getting car finance. It wears the gatekeeping on its sleeve and doesn't waste your time making you think that you could possibly do it. It just stops you immediately. And by the way, enjoy your grey dinner plate. You could look at this as a bad thing, and that's fair, but I can't. Because ultimately, nobody really misses out, since Switch 2 Welcome Tour doesn't cost anything. Okay, sick. We got all the stamps from Arif. So now we've got to go over to Arig. The next area is Area G. You can climb to new heights in there. So long as you aren't in a wheelchair, ableist. This is Nintendo Switch 2 camera area, world 7 out of 12 in the game, which means that we're nearly halfway through. And if you thought the gatekeeping on minigames and tech demos was good before, well boy oh boy, have you not seen anything yet, because this entire world does nothing for you at all unless you have the real life object that the world itself is built around. But you know what they say, if you don't have the camera, you can still have the quiz. How do you close the shutter? You will it. So we finish the quiz and then get interrupted yet again by the apparently escaped mental patient with her doctor behind her, and she begins to sow another seed for the endgame by suggesting that the final part of the dodge spike minigame is impossible. I bet you're all thinking, didn't we already do the final dodge spike minigame? How interesting. So we've got another threat looming over us, and I was already struggling to deal with the eventual end battle with the vacuous scab. Hey, how's your medal collection going? I want to see. Wait, huh? How do you have so many? Well, I still have more than you, so there. Yeah? Well, you know what, kid? I did your mum. So after this, we get invited into a lift, taking us to the top of the camera and highest point of the Switch 2, unless you leave the camera on the floor. And through a couple more insights, we begin to learn that the camera itself is so good, it's useless for landscapes without faces in them. In a stunning surprise as well, it turns out that Nintendo felt a little too guilty about people not having money for a 4K HDR TV or fingers for the touchscreen. So they have the graciousness to allow you to use another USB camera with the console, just in case you don't have the official ones or they were out of stock everywhere. And hey, I was in London before the console launched. I played Mario Party with the camera while I was in labour. This isn't a new thing whatsoever. This here is an iToy game.
Pretty much.
And I've got an iToy camera.
Did it work?
I'm going to put the iToy camera in there.
I'm curious to see if this works. Just aim and fire! Okay. Let's see if it works. Oh. Huh. Never mind. Use it as a microphone.
Well, it's okay. I was gifted one of these consoles after the premiere. I'll just send it back. Wait, they didn't gift me one.
Bye.
The content is back in overdrive here because this world treats you with 2 mini-games once again. Double the amount from the last world, which was 1. First up, we've got Feel the Shape and Feel the Shape 2. The alphabet. Now, I think it's safe to say that every minigame so far has been flawless, but this one is flawless. It's the best game out of the lot. But why? Well, a brand new feature of the Switch 2 console is that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode, and what you do is hold the Joy-Con in this mouse mode and hover it over this brown mystery. You'll feel rumbles in the controller whenever you touch the outlines of a particular shape, and then you use all of that info together to get it wrong. You see, the issue is, when you've got a selection of guesses in front of you that are different enough from each other, you have a very high chance of being able to quickly guess what the shape is. But the second it gives you 20 shapes or letters to pick from, pentagons feel like diamonds, X's feel like K's, hexagons feel like circles, N's feel like H's, and the game wants you to do this quickly for the medals, within 30 seconds total across 5 guesses for both parts. You haven't got time to feel around the intricate ridges that separate an E from a B. You've got places to be. What are you? A B? The only problem I have for this minigame though is how much of the alphabet they sadly had to cut. I don't know if it was budget or developer crunching for the release date of the Switch 2, but I would have loved to have seen a nice big S and have a good feel around it. This minigame is also another chance that the soundtrack gets to spread its wings, and in all the same great ways as it did during the Mouse Maze game from earlier. You see, every time you fail a guess and need to start again, the soundtrack does the same thing and starts again with you. But since you'll be rushing trying to get all of your guesses in under 30 seconds, you'll be making a ton of mistakes, which means you'll be hearing a ton of...
And he's slowly going insane. Actually, I think he already is insane.
Oh, sorry to interrupt the music for a second, but I neglected to mention that the mouse mode actually also works on your leg. But that's not what we came all the way to Cameraland for, was it? No, we want to use the camera, and use it we shall, with one of the very few single-part minigames, Facial Impressions. A game where you begin initially very impressed that it can figure out exactly what your own dumbfounded face looks like before you even pop up on the screen, and then get even more impressed that the face within the game somehow knows you have diagnosed ADHD and begins doing an impression of you after a line. What would be a very easy minigame of simply copying the randomized expressions is made that much more special when you find yourself fighting the face to keep still while it repeatedly mirrors you perfectly. The true you that wants to come out. The minigame is an exploration of personal introspection, outward perception, and the player coming to terms with who they really are. Because as the insights told us earlier, the camera can see you perfectly clear. It knows this is you better than you know yourself. And it's a machine. It can't pretend. You can't force it to make a specific face, and you can't trick it into making a specific face. So once you accept yourself for who you truly are and how you truly look, can you then only begin to gain confidence, work in tandem with your mug, and finally get all 3 gold medals. What do you mean 14 out of 20 eyebrows? They're identical. How much more eyebrow do you need?
Do I not have enough?
Oh boy.
Well, that was a lovely time away in Area G. It was my favoritist area of all the areas. What do you think about it, Pumpkin Woman? I'm so glad I came here today. This was a nice change of pace. Thanks for inviting me. I didn't invite you. I'd rather you weren't here. Wow.
Now we're off
This really is the highest point of the Switch 2. I can see everything from here. Whoa! No way! Is that a trapped fingernail? Ah, wizard. Can I try a piece?
Don't need it. He gets the ladder. Ow!
This is Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller area, and it is Area H. When I arrived at the gate in order to pass through, I was delighted to see everything being separated by a giant empty corridor with nothing in it, like all good corridors should be. And then I had the same question in my head that you do right now. Do we finally get to touch grass?
Nope.
No. But you do get a lady telling you where you're going right under the sign that tells you where you're already going. Talk about building suspense for a grand reveal, because this interactive cutscene corridor sequence really gets your mind racing on what this world could possibly look like. And before you know it, you're there. Wow. I wonder what kind of people we'll find hanging around in a place like this. Would you look at this curvature? Are you objectifying this controller? Okay, maybe that was a bad example. I can't imagine that everyone that has a Switch 2 is a misogynist. What do you think, poo hair? I wonder what kind of mold was used to cast the seamless grips. Pond mold. Cool, so everybody here is insane. Exactly what I figured walking in. But maybe I would be just as insane if I learned some insights about this curvy hussy with seamless grips. Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller Insights. Part 1, it's different. Part 2, the buttons are different. Part 3, it plugs in. Great, now I'm ready for the quiz.
Let's go.
How do I enable wired mode for the controller? Eat a bagel. And yes, I know this is probably a hot take, so forgive me. But personally, even though I adore the original, I always thought that Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller Insights Quiz 2 was the better film. Something else I noticed here, this is the only world in the whole game where individuals have completely lost their families. What is happening in this place? Daddy, you just have to try it. Daddy? Where did you go? Sorry, little girl. I think Daddy was supposed to be holding your hand, but he couldn't keep his hands off the seamless grips.
Creepy?
I stopped for a quick nap, and now I can't find my family.
Damn. Mini games. Oh. 4, 5. And how many of these are there?
This is Open the Glugger Locks, a 3-part minigame series that's a unique take on the classic game Pushing Buttons. Part 1 is Die Hard, Part 2 is Die Harder, Part 3 is Die Hardest. Not much else to say. Simple yet perfect, as everything else has been so far. And to get the 3rd hidden medal, you just have to follow the button press and hold sequences as fast as you can. The simplicity even extends to your own ability to start the minigame in the first place, because if you don't have a Pro controller, you can't. Whenever you play this, it really does feel like you're unlocking a big thing that's not there. And that's all I can ask for, really. And it's another reminder that I'm better than you because I'm playing a part of Welcome Tour that you can't because I have a Pro controller and you don't. I marvel at your rapidity. Thank you. At least someone does. Overall, it's the perfect video game adaptation of the age-old question, how well do you know where your thumbs belong? And it's even got creative subtitles. Part 1 is normal, Part 3 is shuffle, and Part 2 is long.
Not again. Oh, did you shrink them? Okay. My legs. Yay.
This is Joy-Con 2L inner area, and it is area H. So this is what happens when you get all of the stamps in an area built like a camera. Let's see what the parasites of the inner Joy-Cons have to say. Huh? You want to know the trick? Just don't be afraid of sticking out. You know what? Good advice. Last time I heard that was from my doctor. Oh, Dad, we don't have enough medals. Ho, ho, ho. Don't worry, son. If you'd like more, I'll send you to Dunkirk. Yeah, no, I don't like these people. Gimme a quiz after midnight. Preferably a quiz about analog sticks, please. Oh, wouldn't you know? Look at that. There's one. Did you know that the Joy-Con 2 analog sticks are quite different from the Joy-Con 1 analog sticks? Yes, they work. What is a new feature that makes the analog sticks more comfortable to use? They emit a nice scent when you move them. Like me. After this, I get told to look for some hidden screws on the Joy-Cons, and then it pulls the rug from under me and reveals that the screws are actually here when they know I've got the straps on because they told me to put the straps on and I can't possibly check there because the straps are on. This is actually a very good practical joke, and I've got a brilliant sense of humor. Well done, Nintendo. The writing in this comedy game is unmatched. It's up there with the Stanley Parable and Fear and Hunger. On top of that, we also find out that the screws are actually hidden by a cover so that we don't touch screws during gameplay, which I am overjoyed to hear. I've always loved playing games, but I did always wonder when they'd stop making me touch screws. What makes the SL and SR buttons different from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2? They've been removed. The connectors used to attach the Joy-Con 2 controllers to the Switch 2 have been designed to ease the process. But in what way? They have eyes.
They do?
No, they don't. It's a console. This is color the shapes, which sadly I think will lead me to my second major criticism of Welcome Tour, because the title of the minigame says the plural shapes, but you only color in one. In this minigame, you need to take one of your Joy-Cons, twist it 90 degrees onto its side, and put it flat on the table in order to activate the hidden feature, which is that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode, after which the minigame itself gives you a Photoshop brush that you can't adjust the width of that needs to fill in a shape as fast as possible without you going over the edges. The faster you go, the closer you get to that steaming hot third golden medal. Dude, why are you playing Fortnite? What's wrong with you? Don't you want to color a triangle? It's okay though, everyone, don't worry. This whole minigame isn't just this shape. This is another one of those chunky 4-parter minigame series, and they're all unique for their own twists on the core gameplay. Part 1, color the shape.
Triangle.
Part 2, color the shape.
The star.
Part 3, color the shape.
Flowers.
Part 4, blow up Parliament. After this is the second minigame of the inside of your Switch 2 Joy-Con world.
The Rumble.
Match the Rumble. It's a memory game in 2 parts where you have to match this rumble with this rumble. And if you make any more than 3 mistakes in total, you don't get that third gold medal. I will say though, I do think that the golfer should match with the trouser zipper, because you cannot separate a golfer from his hand undoing it. I suppose you could say that it's massively down to luck in the beginning parts of the game, because you can't feel a rumble unless you already commit to picking a rumble, but I would say that luck has nothing to do with it at all, because the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode that allows you to play the game. Part 1 of the minigame makes you try to match 6 pairs of rumble, and part 2 of the minigame is that there is no part 2. The rumble is over. But don't worry, the rumble can continue if we just make it up. For instance, you remember how earlier I picked up a pair of glasses for a side quest? Well, did you know that if you have one of those side quest items on you, if you try to pick up another one, you can't?
Hey, that's it? You only do one at a time? Huh. Okay.
I want to run on top of a Joy-Con grip. Well, you should have said earlier, you prick, because I can give it to you with Area I, a video game world that is sure to go down in history as one of the video game worlds. Joy-Con 2 grip area. Oh me, oh my, one's little head bone does perplex and bemuse. What insights could there possibly be for a plastic grip? Well, it turns out it's not a Joy-Con grip. It's the real Slim Shady, because it stands up. Which of the following is used to attach a Joy-Con 2 controller to the Joy-Con 2 grip?
Blue?
The power of love. You know something, while I'm here, I'm actually going to give Switch 2 Welcome Tour's quizzes another compliment. Yes, even after all of the other compliments I've given. And I can't help that that's happening. The game is just doing everything right. Whenever you do a quiz, it's a quiz, so it's already great on the offset. But also, when you get to the end of it, the results screen does this little check over your answers before it gives you the final result.
Hey.
I personally really love that extra little bit of time the game spends teasing you. Are you gonna win? Are you gonna lose? Well, bucko, just hang on another 1 second and a bit and you'll find out. The rush I get every time I finish a quiz, and the tension waiting to see if I did good or not, is one of the biggest satisfying gameplay loops that kept me going until the end of the game. Does it matter that the losing screen is actually completely different and doesn't build up anything before telling you lost, meaning that the build up is only in the winning screen, meaning that if you see it you know you've already won and don't need the build up in the first place?
Ow.
No, because I love it when video games edge me. For a video game world based on a grip, the amount of mini-games to experience did not disappoint. 3 of them. The first minigame is No. The second minigame is a classic old-school Nintendo affair called Balloon Gunt. And I call it a classic Nintendo affair because this minigame is so good you'll cheat on your wife with it. And also because, don't forget, Nintendo are indeed a family-friendly, all-American Christian company. So what better way to avoid poisoning the minds of our children than by making a first-person shooter where the enemies are Swedish people, balloons. It's really big of Nintendo to admit that even shooting ink at fish was too violent. which it is. So pat on the back. If anything is ever going to need to be shot in a video game, it's floating rubber shaped like a tit. As you probably guessed, because you're very clever and I'm proud of you, you strafe with the left stick and then control the camera's direction with the cursor feature, activated by the Switch 2 Joy-Con and its new mouse mode. The quicker you shoot the balloons, the better medal you get. And what's better than finally snagging that hidden third medal? A part 2 of the same minigame in order to get another hidden third medal. This time though, it's with double balloons, where you have to still shoot all the things as quickly as possible, but this time also need to get better with your accuracy in order to really pop that ovary. And capping it all off is part 3, triple balloons, where you've still got to shoot all of the things as quickly as possible all over again, but this time also spend over 11 minutes trying to break the top record, and then suddenly realize your massive fingers have been rubbing the table too much and your knuckle has gone backwards. The third and final minigame is another right knee slapper called Scrape Off Stain Removal. You rub a stain off. I know that sounds really boring, but trust me, it isn't, because it's made all the more fun when you rub that stain off using the Switch 2 Joy-Con's new mouse mode.
Set your pants on fire.
Oh my giddy Aunt Fanny, I can't believe how much better Welcome Tour just keeps getting. I thought this was one of the mini-games, not one of the tech demos demonstrating the Switch 2's new mind reader. How did you all know that all I ever wanted was Scrape Off 2 stubborn stain removal?
Hey, look, a hand.
Oh no.
Oops.
I scraped too much. I made a wheel on my leg. And what a coincidence is that, because after getting all the stamps from the last world, we get to go to a very special kind of world.
Wheels. Are you okay?
Yes, everybody, it's time for what we've all been waiting for. Welcome to Joy-Con 2 Wheel Area. And after having a brief little shop around for some kind of reason or sense to how we got here, we head straight for the insights, learn all there is to know about the Switch 2's plastic wheel accessory, and then discover in the quiz that the wheel has been turned inside out. What kind of people do you think spend a day out with their families standing on a wheel?
This guy?
These people. What was that? You're gonna have to speak up! There's nobody there. What am I doing?
Right down here. What?
You're beyond help. You know how Nintendo is, and always has been, absolutely masterful at theming? Well, what better minigame to treat you to on the Joy-Con 2 wheel world than stunt driving? A fast-paced on-rails racer where you don't use the Joy-Con 2 wheel. Instead, there's a special trick you can do with the Joy-Con when you hold the side of it flat down on a table, because the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode that makes this minigame far more manageable. No wheels needed. Accessibility is very important. Don't forget, Nintendo knows this. So like, if you can't afford a £75 Pro controller, that's obviously cheap enough where I do understand them locking out content until you buy one. You can easily just get up and get one really quickly and easily to finish off the rest of the game. It's a small price to pay. But that can be taken too far, and it's really thoughtful of Nintendo to allow you to play this part of the game with the mouse mode if you can't afford the much more expensive Joy-Con wheel at £17 for 2 of them. Watch in excitement as you balance on each half of the car's wheels to hit as many speed boosts as possible and avoid sausages to get that elusive third hidden golden medal.
Microsecond away. Whoa, so good.
So we've got all of the stamps in Area K, all 8 of them. It's actually the smallest world in the whole game in terms of literal size, even smaller than the strap world. And that's saying something, because that's a strap. But there's a reason this world is so small. It's because it's merely an appetizer for the final world of the game. Okay then, where do you guys think we could possibly go next after every other Switch 2 part we've explored? What have they saved for the end? Yes, It's the Switch 2. Now, I think it's safe to say that Switch 2 Welcome Tour is a modern masterpiece. I was confident in that assessment by the time we got to World B and guessed the frame rate. In fact, the game could have ended at Area D and I would have been satisfied. Everything else after that was a bonus. But like all legendary men and women of history, it doesn't know when to stop. And just when you thought that the game of the year couldn't get any better, you get vored into your Switch 2 console and then find out that Nintendo consoles used to use cables. Welcome to the biggest world in the whole game. Suitably massive and suitably epic for the suitably ending. And after the 7 hours and 50 minutes I've spent completing everything to make it this far, I'm rewarded with the most amount of reading and quizzes in the whole game. The screen insight quizzes are so in-depth, they go on for 4 parts. Thank you. Thank you. I now know so much about the inner workings of how the Switch 2 functions, I think I'm ready to pick up a headset for Nintendo customer service. I told you this game was brilliant, everybody, and this is proof. I've had the best fun I've ever had, and I got workforce training. Then, I can use that training to get myself a job at Nintendo customer service, and then make enough money to buy a 4K HDR TV to finally allow myself to finish the game that trained me to make money to buy a 4K HDR TV to finish the game. Art. This game is art. It doesn't come on a cartridge, it comes on an artridge! And what better way to start closing off this game than by doing the main gameplay mechanic we've learned how to master after all this playtime? Running. And the game pulls out all the stops here by putting 1,000 new obstacles to get in our way. Microchips and processors. Should you be able to jump or stand over them? No, because that's hand-holding, and I for one like challenge in my games. I want to feel the struggle from being stuck on microchips just so I can feel the eventual pure elation when I finally get to run down a giant piss road in order to earn a microphone stamp. Only 17 to go? Oh, why can't it be 18? Don't end! But stamps are only one part of the conversation here. What new tidbits of information can we pass while we're performing keyhole surgery on Nintendo's latest child? I might as well just front load all of it now because it is a lot. Saving all of the coursework until the very end, I'm all here for it. For starters, we find out here that the Switch 2 can't use micro SD cards. Instead, you need to use micro SD cards. And on top of that, they also used graphite around the SD card slot to control the heat. I know another thing that used graphite to control the heat, and it worked perfectly. Chernobyl. We also discover a bit more about the battery, and in a shocking move of bravery from Nintendo, they decided to just be brutally honest about it by saying, hey, we tried our hardest. I don't know how anybody could complain about that. It's not like you're being lied to. They tried. It's fine. And the console will still tell you that it's out of battery when the percentage says that it isn't. But more importantly, from full charge, you'll maybe get at least 1 hour from Mario Kart. Again, don't complain though, as they themselves remind you, if you used the original Switch battery, that time would be even less. So if you think 60 minutes of Mario Kart isn't enough, well, if it was on the other battery, that would take it down to 50. You know what this is?
Oof.
This final world is Nintendo apologizing.
For everything?
After 8 hours of them telling you how great the Switch 2 is, they're still big enough to acknowledge their faults, admit they're not that great, and take accountability at the final
Pizza and
hurdle,
pretzels.
all within a playable format. The detail here is so rich, they even named the area after all the L's that they were willingly going to take here.
Fair.
And the game is free. The savage honesty here must be commended, and these L's within Area L don't stop coming, even to the extent of the people that you can talk to. The console speakers are nice, but the headphones are better. And how about the doctor's patient talking to you once again and letting you know that in one of the tech demos you already did over 2 hours ago, if you go back to it, you can honk a horn in it. This is Nintendo's defining statement. Their soul shamelessly being laid bare for all to scrutinize, and all at the final stretch of the game. It's bold, it's brazen, it's fearless. I don't see how anyone can call it a negative, and I want it in every future video game. It doesn't matter how ride or die you are for supporting Nintendo, or how invested you are in this game, or even if Nintendo takes that monumental of a risk of possibly losing you and undoing all the love you have built for the game at that very final moment. They are still not above just telling you outright that the Switch 2's screen is fine, but the Switch 1 One's OLED screen is better. Here's a quiz question. Is the red light on the Switch 2 screen produced by an apple peel? You know what? It might as well be. Why not? After everything else I found out, the whole console is held together with super glue and spit. What other flaws are there to learn? How about this? The Switch 2's GPU is several times faster than the Switch 1, and it's so powerful it can fully render a PS1 man. We also find out more about the screen itself and how it's been pushed into the console body more than the Switch 1's was, precisely by the width of a piece of paper, because according to Nintendo, it prevents it from coming into contact with the floor or other surfaces. Few things about that. First of all, the analog sticks do a fine enough job of that already. You would have known that if you did more tests. Secondly, if your Joy-Cons aren't connected to the console, in what situation would you ever have it gently face down on a perfectly flat surface anyway? The stand doesn't allow it to fall forward, so if it did get knocked down screen first, the screen itself would slam on the floor, and then that paper width of extra gappage won't save the screen from the fact it was just slammed on the floor. Thirdly, what flaws are you talking about to avoid contact with the screen? Have you been to England before? England is wonky. There's no flat here. It's broken. Just like your screen would be if you left it on the floor. In England. Oh, what's this? What's this? The Switch 2 console can feel human emotions? Good. Then you'll be offended if I call you console slurs. Now, if you don't mind, I need to have a quick moment alone with your rather long and thin IC. Bye! It's the final area. What did I expect? Of course the stamps were going to be carefully hidden. Don't you keep me away from my stamps, you fuck! Where are they? Where are they? Oh, I found one. A person stamp. Shoot, we don't have enough medals. What should we do? Want to go back to the previous area and get some more medals? Yes? What else can you do? It's been decades since an exhibition's had me this fired up. It's not that. You're standing on the heat pipe. Good to know that even until the very last level, the people inside the Switch 2 are just as far gone as the people on top of it. Alright game, okay, reel it in a bit. Put it back in your pant. I do absolutely adore quizzes, make no mistake. And this lady knows it. You deserve a quiz, I'd say. Oh yes, I do. But I will be harsh for a sec. I think that maybe there's just a bit too many at the final part of the game. Look at this. I'm now learning insights all about the Wii U chat for the Wii U.
Why?
And now, to check that I am indeed paying attention, one of the questions is making sure I know that in order to talk to someone else with the speak accessory, I have to use my voice. We're nearly there though, everybody, so you just need to keep your quizzing shoes on for a few more minutes. And after learning everything you'd ever need to know about the file size 256 gigabytes, we get treated to the history of storage and fans. Oh no, Rosie, my sister, why are you playing the Sega Mega Drive on your Switch when you should be playing the Heat Dissipation Insights quiz? Oh, and another thing, there are actually more heat dissipation insights. Really? Like what? I thought I already learned everything when I was told that electronics get hot and that the Switch 2 is an electronic that tries not to get hot. Hot air goes through the heat pipe. The quizzes are completed. Oh boy, what a boy. Thanks for playing. No, I didn't play the quizzes. I answered them. But let's get down to brass tacks. Even though I reveled in all of these quizzes for the sheer enjoyment alone, and that is all the reward that I need, I would be a bad, professional, licensed, qualified gaming journalist if I didn't answer the question, do you get anything else for completing the quizzes?
Let me guess now. Yeah, figured.
Yes. The hospital patient comes to see you, and she says, it means a lot to me. Typical women thanking you for doing quizzes.
Oh, there he is.
So with Area L, Nintendo Switch 2 console inner area, being the most complex, in-depth and multi-leveled world in the whole game, with the hardest hidden stamps and the most amount of quizzes and insights so far, you'll be ecstatic to hear that they also included the most amount of minigames here as well. 2. The first minigame is Slot in the Shapes, a game that I haven't played since the time I couldn't eat solids. It's not just a baby game though, don't listen to the other reviewers, they're wrong. This is absolutely not just a Fisher-Price sorting game. In fact, to quell the spread of misinformation that's so prevalent on the internet nowadays, here's what you actually do. By using the Switch 2 Joy-Con's new mouse mode, you don't just put the shapes in properly, you also have to do it very fast. And that's not even including the fact there's also a sequel, Slot in the Shapes 2 Floating Slots, where the slots now aren't staying still, and instead, you guessed it, slot. But this isn't something you end a perfect game on, Nintendo. Come on! You know what perfect minigame you do end a perfect game with? Breaststroke Floaty Frustration, a mini-game where Pinocchio has lied one too many times so Geppetto drowned him. I personally am not one that makes a habit of swimming on tables, so I found this mini-game a welcome challenge for the final one. But you know me, I'm great. So of course it didn't take me long at all before I got that hidden third medal and my breaststroke was up there with the greats like myself. Not to mention it also closes off everything in the whole game nice and completely by reminding you, just in case you forgot after all the times in the game that you haven't used it, that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a new mouse mode. My goodness. We are home free. All of the quizzes are done and so are the mini games. I'm lying. Do you remember ages ago there was that strangely veiled threat by the clever quiz patient suggesting that the final part of the Dodge the Spiked Ball minigame is impossible? And I never went back to it because it frightened me. Well, that's not the only minigame in this collection that has a final part only unlocked by having nearly every other medal in the game. In fact, there are 3. Click Quick 4 requiring 77 medals, Speed Golf 4 requiring 81 medals, and Dodge the Spiked Balls 4 requiring 99 medals. Wow. I hope I have enough for them. It's okay, I have enough for them. Starting off with the 3rd highest medal requirement is Click Quick 4, Random Targets. If you thought the idea of clicking things quickly wasn't enough for you in the first 3 parts, Part 4 really throws the concept into overdrive by not giving you any idea where each target will pop up next. You want to see how quick you need to click? Yeah, that still wasn't fast enough. I can't complain though, and I won't complain, because this is of course one of the ending challenges. So does it matter that it took me 17 minutes and a mangled crab shrimp hand to get it? No. Next minigame, the 2nd highest medal requirement and therefore the 2nd hardest challenge in the whole game, Speed Golf 4 Pitfall Course.
Oh, wait, first attempt. Oh, nice. Wow. That was easy.
Golf. Then we have the final mini-game with the highest medal unlock requirement. Dodge the Spiked Balls 4, Twin UFOs, Nightmare Mode. And if you at home think that is an accurate subtitle, then I'll let you in on a little strategy that you can do yourself without even practicing the minigame a single time. All you have to do is get better at socializing, find someone who loves you, and then make them move one of the UFOs while you move the other, and it will be done in no time at all. To be frank, I'm honestly shocked that Nintendo would insult their own customer bases like that. They didn't even consider that people would ever cheat on the hardest challenge by using 2 people, because whoever actually bought a Switch 2 must be alone.
Ouch. Hey!
Oh no, jeez, I forgot about you. It's the final boss fight, everybody. After getting every single medal in the game, he's finally ready to get in the MMA cage, and I'm bigger than him. Come on then, scab. What have you got to say about all of my medals now?
I don't believe it.
Oh wait, is that it?
Really?
There's no fight? Oh. Well, can I at least get your name?
Classified.
Nice to meet you, Classified.
Wow.
Is your last name advertising? Okay, so there may not be a full-on final boss fight to determine who is actually the best medal collector, but I don't need one.
Happens.
I win by default, because I have friends and he doesn't. You see, with a name like that, it's obvious that even his parents don't like him, so who the hell else will? And just to make sure that he definitely loses, I happen to know every child's #1 weakness, cars.
Oh, jeez.
No matter how incredible, how groundbreaking, how life-affirming this game is, though, as the famous saying goes, please stop. And in order to stop Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour and finish it off definitively and forever, we've been invited to visit the top secret final room and learn the truth. So off I run with my little blue twat hat, also known as a twat, all the way over to... Oh, wait, I went the wrong way. So off I run all the way over to... Oh, wait, that was the right way. So off I run all the way over to... Oh, I'm stuck. And here we are.
Oh, here we are.
The Nintendo
Inner area.
Illuminati. They are all silent, stoic, unflinching, as I tiptoe around them to try and find the final stamps, while I'm trying to work out exactly what they're doing. Oh man, what? System on a Chip? I love that band. This sub-area here is the smallest part of the game so far, and yet with such a small size, not an inch is wasted. It's jam-packed with more of the gameplay we've all come to love and master, running, and then it's all tied up in a bright red bow with the hospital patient lady revealing herself as the true mastermind of this perfect dream you've been witness to. And then she gifts you with the ultimate victory lap to expertly summate everything we've come to learn and love about Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Another quiz. But this isn't like any of the other quizzes so far. There's no insights you need to read, no crutches to lean on, and no guides you can look up online. Instead, you are forced to engage in the deepest and most satisfying battle of wits that the game has prepared you for all this time, featuring such questions as, what is this in the middle of the Joy-Con grip? What shape is the wheel? And what console is this game about? It took me a while and it was a mentally grueling task, but after at least 2 minutes, I was done. This is it. All of the minigames, all of the medals, all of the quizzes. And just before the credits roll, we earned something that made the whole journey worth it. The curator of the exhibit calls me an expert in Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. That's all I ever wanted my dad to tell me. Oh, hang on. Wait! What? Stop! What about all of the lost junk I've been finding with my one singular pocket that can't fit more than one thing in at a time? Don't worry, I didn't forget, and you bet I can't wait to see what reward there is in store for this. Not just for doing all of this as its own separate task, but also for it being the final thing I need to do before 100% completion. Here you go. Everything returned. My community service is now over. Can you please wipe the murder charge? Because if you don't, I'm gonna kill you. I don't believe that anyone has explored this exhibition quite as much as you. I'm honestly not sure how to repay you.
That's all of them.
So I won't. In conclusion to my long-form video essay journalistic critique, what more can I say about Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour? Hopefully nothing, because this is the conclusion. Even with everything I heavily praised about the final world, Ariel, even I could not see coming how Nintendo would stick the landing and commit to the anticlimax right up until the final line of dialogue. And amongst everything else I've already discussed in terms of the sheer artistic achievement for the medium, that unexpected and unconventional ending forcing you to face the ugliness of human endeavor even after everything the game does conventionally correct, just goes to prove Welcome Tour as Nintendo's Shadow of the Colossus. What was this game, deep down, truly actually about? You could say that it was an interactive instruction manual, or a free method for Nintendo to train customer service staff, or just a fun little adventure that is indeed a fantastic and flawless game on its own, but spliced with brand new tech demonstrations and educational explanations about how this brand new device works. Reviewers and journalists will likely be grappling with the question of what this game is truly about for the next 30 years and still not have an answer. But I think this character here that appears at the end of the game sums it up better than anyone else ever could. Oh, now I get it. This was a direct look into the workings of the Nintendo Switch 2 console. As a game alone, it's superb. As a launch title, it's mind-blowing. But then when you take into account that just like Astro's Playroom on PS5, it's immediately available, built into the console, and for free, then you realize that it's as close to perfect as a video game can be. My total playtime on Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour was 10 hours and 58 minutes. And was it worth it? Do I feel like any of my time was wasted? Not even for a microsecond. Because I'm friends with Scott the Woz on Nintendo, and you aren't.
Ouch.
What do you mean it's £8?
There you go.
It's not free.
Nope.
$10?
Yep.
Was it worth it now?
Tell me. You played it.
No?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Under the video games. After you buy it first, of course. Lone Dennis. Jesus Christ. There's an attack division. Didn't you cut him off into pieces? There's a new boss, of course, again. Oy. Yep, there we go. Finally done. Sheesh. Man, that took a while. Well, this is kind of the reason why I decided to, make it a live stream. Because, frankly, man, that took a while. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll see you guys later for Digimon. Adios.